Hello. Okay, so here's the deal. Hi, it's me, live from the Puppet Pit. Again. So on Sunday, I think, I switched hardware for the Owncast server. I moved the whole server to a different machine. And I didn't get a chance to stress test it, so this is the stress test. So that's why I went live a little bit early, just to see, is it even going to connect? Yeah, it looks like it's connecting. Hey Zap, how you doing? But I am keeping a close eye on how it's going. It should actually be better than the other machine, but since it's completely untested, who knows? Should be fine. It's actually a more powerful machine with more RAM as well, so we'll see. So far it looks all right. I'm not seeing any errors. CPU is 25%. That's pretty good. It's an i9. Also, I don't know if you can hear that. They're doing fire alarm testing in our building. Yeah, so I hit the button like, I don't know, 10 minutes early than I usually do. We're going, I don't know, Joe. Hi, Joe, by the way. I used to go live at 10:30. I'm going live at 10 a.m. local time now, just so I can get lunch on time and all that good stuff. Yeah, but anyway, so I've got the Owncast server thing that I'm stress testing as we speak. Good idea. And also they were supposed to be starting tomorrow with the fire alarm testing in the building, but apparently they're starting today because it's just, this isn't an actual fire alarm, it's just the testing thing, but it sounds like it's going to be going on and off. I hope that you can't hear it, and I hope it doesn't surprise me, because I get frightened by loud noises pretty easily. So if I jump all of a sudden, that's what's going on. New machine, does it seem quiet to anyone else? I every time I reboot, the audio resets. How's that? Let me know if that's better. Because I have to reconfigure everything every time. This is one of the reasons that it's nice that it's on a Linux machine, is because you don't ever really have to reboot it unless you have a specific reason to, like you switch hardware around, for example. So I have rebooted this machine since the last time I streamed, and so yeah, I had to reset all the audio. So let me know. Yeah, well, I mean, so it's not really a full reconfigure. It's just the audio levels, and so it's not like a whole thing. The cameras, because any camera that's a Logitech camera has to be completely reconfigured every time. Thanks, Logitech. Hi, Indies Keep. Nice to see you. Yes. Anyway, so yeah, no, this server, what you're seeing, Zap, on Twitch, this is the same as it's been for a long time. Same machine, same everything. It's anybody who's watching an Owncast is watching from a new machine, so that's what I've got my eye on. So if you're watching on OperationPuppet.live, that's brand new hardware that you're enjoying. Seems to be fine. It looks like it's fine. Let me just double check. If you hear the stream go out, yeah, we good, we good, we good. No errors. I like no errors. Yeah. That looks fine. Okay, cool. Awesome. Like to see that. I'm going to keep the stat screen up just in case it starts having a fit or something. Anyway, hi! Building puppets again. Yes, thank you, Zap, if you wouldn't mind. If anybody wouldn't mind just popping over to OperationPuppet.live and checking out the stream, seeing the quality. Like, you can also adjust the quality just like you can on Twitch. It may not default to the best quality, so you might want to switch it up. Anyway, so I'm having a coffee, fearing for the fire alarm going off, and thank you, Zap. Yes, Zap, who is currently known as Zoot on the Owncast chat, because it randomly assigns you Muppet-based usernames. Yes, I did that. Oh wait, I saw a segmentation thing come in here. What are we doing? Nope, it looks good. Playback health, 100%. Nice. Okay, it looks like the new Owncast server is performing well. This is good news. For a couple of reasons. One, because last Saturday, plus? I don't remember when I did it. I did the first of the Fediverse exclusive gaming live streams I talked about last time. So I was playing a little Tiny Tina's Wonderlands. There's Indies Keep. I see Indies Keep on the Owncast server. Hello, thank you for checking all that out. Seems to be fine. Everything seems good. But yeah, so if you just want to hang out with me and play video games and other games, I have some board game stuff planned, or some tabletop role-playing game stuff planned. And it has nothing to do with puppets. That's one of the reasons why I decided that I was going to let the Fediverse stuff be just the gaming stuff, because I know that a lot of y'all, the mainstream as it were, I know what's mainstream about puppets, right? A lot of people are here for the puppets, and that makes sense. But if you want more me, you can head on over to OperationPuppet.live or the PeerTube server at Puppet.zone. Anyway, building puppets is a thing. So this is a short week for me. It was a stat holiday on Monday, and I have finally going to the allergy clinic on Friday afternoon. So I've got like 3.5-ish days of build time this week, which is not a lot. So I decided to do something relatively simple. Hey, the voice is going already. Good thing I have lozenges. And I'm doing an ogre this week. So ogres are fun. They're also not a lot of moving parts, as it were. They're fairly simple. just construction-wise, they're fairly simple. They're fast to do relative to other live hands puppets. So, yeah, I'm pretty well along. I sewed the entire skin yesterday, so this is all ready to go. Here's the biceps. Here's the head and the body. Got the 2 arms here. So we got a pink and orange ogre. So that's ready to go. So now I have to do all of the foam fabrication. I've also got some mouth plates printed out here. Oh, also, while I'm thinking of it, let me move the mouse to somewhere that I'm not gonna knock it off. Ha ha ha, right, sure. Good luck with that. AG Charles, hello. AG Carls, hello. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. I'm probably not, my apologies. But hello on Twitch. I have a sort of temporary solution for our ongoing, what are you gonna do with the close-up cam situation? For those of you who've been playing along and following the drama of the close-up cam, I had the brilliant idea to use the camera that has the good zoom for the close-up cam, which makes sense. Problem being that camera has a loose connection with the cable, so every time I move it, it disconnects, reconnects, disconnects, reconnects. And yes, I have to actually open the thing up and fix it. But for the moment, I can't move the camera around. So then it was a matter of, okay, where are you going to put it so it can be useful? So this is where I've kind of landed for the moment. So it's here now, which is kind of facing the opposite direction from what I wanted. But the point is, I can still like put stuff on the table and show it, and it actually looks like you can see more detail on this than you can. And it's out of the way. I'm not likely to bump it or anything. So this is a good time to show off my mouth plates. These are my 3D printed mouth plates. This is the ogre mouth plate. And I've shown these before, but what I do is I print this little bracket here that is actually part of the physical fabric of the mouth plate. And then I stitch, I can actually show this. This is just stitched, a little loop of leather. Stitch it a lot. And this is an extremely strong little finger loop. This is not going to break unless you really, really haul on it. Hello, JR24 from Louisiana. Nice to see you. Thank you for joining us. It's also a wiggly cam sometimes. Yeah, this was the cam that had the shaky cam a lot. Thankfully, it's now fixed. It's sitting on the tripod, but it shouldn't move. Also, there's children screaming outside because of the daycare. There's so many noise. It's so loud in here today. There's so many. I'm feeling nervous because of all of the sounds that may or may not happen. Anyway, we're gonna try and press on because we got stuff. And the first thing that we have to do, I've got the mouth plate. Both plates are put together. I'm gonna actually tape these together. I'm gonna gaff tape these together to form a little hinge. I'll do that in a second. We'll show that on stream. Leia, hello, nice to see you. But the first thing I got to do is just cut the foam out. So I've drawn the patterns on the foam. Let's just go to the top cam. We good, we good, we good. Okay. I was having some problems with the sun earlier. That's the motto of 2024, I think. The way that the sunlight was coming in, obviously I have to have the window open. We're gonna be getting out the danger honey soon. And so I was having the sunlight come in. There was nothing I could do to block it. And I was having these big blocks of just like blazing sunlight, and I could not get the camera adjusted to anything where you could see everything. So I just had these big blown out hot spots. Thankfully, the sun has moved a bit, or the clouds have moved in, or something's happened. This looks fine now. There's a little hot spot right there. You can see that's the sun. That's fun. They were like the size of, footballs. Anyway, so we got to cut this stuff out. So let's just do that and stop talking and make the puppets, Kevin. Okay, Kevin. The old razor blade. My namesake. And I think this is sharp. Let me see. How new is this? It's not great. Let's see how far we can get. I'll probably get a new one. Trying to keep the blade at 90 degrees. So we get a nice square edge, of course. This is really struggling to get through that foam. I should probably just get a new blade. Yes, man, we'll see. JR24, just wondering, what are your thoughts on puppets being used in RPG games like Dungeons and Dragons? I think that's a great idea. Love it. Particularly if you're doing a campaign that's based around humor. That'd be great. I could see the Oracle just sitting in on something like that. Yeah, for sure, 100%. Indies Keep on Owncast. We are having typical northwest U.S. weather, clouds with a chance of rain. I wouldn't mind that so much. It's very, very bright and sunny today here in the Toronto. Yeah, no, absolutely, JR. That's love it. Do it. Yes. I would absolutely do like Perception Studio on Twitch does a lot of, or did. I haven't actually looked at them in a while. Shout out Danny and Art. But you know, they've done a lot of that where they actually have puppets playing the games, and lost in admiration for those folks because the endurance that it takes. That's just some flies. Don't worry about that. The endurance that it takes a puppeteer for like a couple of hours at a time, like, and doing it live, it's unbelievable. And just keep, I'm still a producer on Perception Check. I did not know that. Yeah, Perception Check is like I said, I don't it's a terrible admission, but I don't partake of much media at all. It's a kind of universal truth that like if you do a live stream or make videos, you generally just tend to do that and you don't watch live streams or watch other people's videos. The only reason I ever watch any other videos is because I need something to watch when I go to the gym. That's it. I don't have time otherwise. So I don't like, you know, I don't remember the last time I actually watched anything on Twitch. And the pace of enshootification, keeping the language family friendly, has ramped up so much that every time I go and look at a social media site of some kind that I haven't visited in a while, it's got so much measurably worse than the last time I saw it that it's just like such a turnoff. JRR24, I had a scare this morning. A light switch sparked at me. Woo! Luckily, the electrician came in and fixed it quickly. Yikes. Yeah, I'm having some things today. As I mentioned, they appear to be testing the fire alarms a day early. So if you hear a fire alarm go off, it's probably fine. It's probably not a real fire. You just keep, yeah, too much time watching me is not enough time creating. That's it, right? There is a limited amount of time. This is one of my challenges I'm really feeling now. I really want to like do new stuff. I want to prototype new models. I want to do stuff I haven't done before. And of course I have you know, a kind of quota that I set for myself of what to build for every week. And so I just, when is the question, right? Like, when am I gonna do all this stuff? Because I've got to keep the store stocked. I've got to do commissions. I've got to, you know, make a living. It's a real challenge. Sometimes I just have to go, okay, I got to set aside some time and prototype something new, get an idea, do something new. Because I do kind of feel like I'm spinning my wheels a little bit and I want to do something new. I'm a newness addict. I need new things all the time, so. Yeah, so there we go. There's the head. So this is the head and the body. There's no foam in the arms. I will occasionally put tubes in the biceps. I think this I'm just going to stuff it with fiberfill. Because I'm trying to conserve foam. I'm having quite the crisis of foam availability. The place I usually get the standard upholstery foam like this hasn't had any for months, and I'm not sure they're ever going to have any. So I need to find another source. This stuff comes from an outdoor supply shop that just happens to have loads of upholstery foam for whatever reason. Like an outdoor fabric supply place, which is actually not a bad place to get it. And it's, you know, it's not my favorite. It's a little too soft for my liking, but there's no options to get like different firmnesses. So this is just what I have to work with for now. I have to make, next week I'm doing a live hands monster with an eyebrow mech. And I don't have enough 1-inch foam to do the skull. So I'm going to have to take these like 1/2 inch and double it up and do 2 thicknesses of it in order to do it properly. Patrick, hello, nice to see you. So lately I've been using beads in the arms. Yeah, I've seen that. I'm curious. I might try that at one point. Leia, I felt that I've been wanting to try sculpting and mold making along with animatronics, but Lily Pearl 2.0 has been missing a leg for a month now, and I've been job searching. Yeah, that's the thing, right? There's only so many hours in a day, and it's really a matter of juggling and managing time. Hello, Patrick. I'm not sure if I already said hello, but hello. Nice to see you. The Folks is out. Folks is coming out. So the plan here is I'm going to finish cutting these out, then we're going to glue them together, and then I have to put... I'm going to put boning in the body because, like I said, this foam is quite soft, so we want to make sure it holds its shape. And we have to glue this skin into the skull. Lots of danger, honey, on this very special episode of Blossom. All right, so far, this razor blade's doing the job. I'm really just trying to conserve as much as possible because the budget's tight, kids, let me tell you. Okay, there's one. I'll cut the darts out in a minute so I can get rid of the big old sheet. Also, you tried the EVA foam, the cosplay use. I've done EVA foam in the past. I haven't got any recently. Where I got it from was actually a cosplay place that's, gosh, I think they were in Winnipeg or something like that. And it was neat, and I liked it, and thankfully it was quite light, which is among the reasons why cosplayers use it. It's not. Oh, this is the opposite problem with this, right? This is too soft. EVA foam I find is just too stiff. Now that's one of the reasons why I use it, because what I did before was when I was prototyping my Kermit, I made a Kermit body, like a foam body, but I made it out of EVA so I could drape it really easily without the body deforming. And that worked out quite well. But yeah, that's not a bad idea. I know a lot of people do use EVA, and EVA is a really good option if you have something that isn't supposed to be deformable, like if you want something that's rigid and yet still light. It is a good option. I should check into that. My old foam supplier might actually be back. I don't know. I gotta check. It seems like their website's functional again. In which case I can finally get proper reticulated foam again, which I haven't been able to do for a while. So. Okay, so we can get rid of this husk. And cut out these darts, and then it's danger honey time. Anne, hello Anne. When you pattern the fur, is it the same pattern plus a 1/4 inch? It depends. Generally speaking, if I'm going to sew it on the machine, that's what the, oh, I see what you mean. Are you using the same pattern for the foam and fur? Yeah, that's about right, I would say. It depends on the fur, obviously, but yeah. It's kind of hard to say an exact number, but yes, you do basically what I do, at least. I don't, some people may say this is a bad idea. I've never had a problem with it. Is that you just use the same pattern that you use for the foam, but just size it up a little bit. I don't even measure it. I just eyeball it. I just make it a bit bigger. You know, the Texas Chainsaw Massacre turns 50 this year. Well, I turned 56 this year, which tells you a lot. It tells you I was 6 years old when the Texas Chainsaw Massacre came out. Interesting. I thought, I would have assumed that I was more or less contemporary with it, but I guess I was a kid when that came out. Measure once, cut twice. Well, basically, yes. Indies Keep. I don't miss having EVA foam all over the place. Cosplaying was fun. Still sort of do it, but I don't build costumes and props anymore. Yeah, I can imagine. I don't know what's going on with the supply chain. I think it's just something's gone weird with the foam supply chain. I'm hoping that's all it is. Well, that's all it is, then it means there's no solution. I don't know, we'll see. It could be the puppet apocalypse. No more foam ever. Kevin has to move. I suspect it'll be fine. I just may have to source it differently. JR Archer 40 this February. Yeah, whippersnapper. One of the few advantages of being this old is you get to call everybody else kid. Zeb, hire me to deliver foam from the U.S. straight to your office. Sure, no problem. Look, if I had that kind of money, I would just order foam from the U.S. I don't know if you know this, but they actually deliver across borders these days. All right, so after this, we get the danger honey out and we start to gluing. This is half of mine would be artisanal foam. Yes, artisanal, locally sourced, grain-fed foam. Okay. Putting the sharp razor blade back in the safety case because I'm clumsy. Joe, sometimes I sometimes use EVA foam. You get the colored sheets. It's great for tongues and things like that. Yeah, so I use craft foam for that. I think craft foam is just EVA foam, but very thin sheets, right? That's a lot of the tongues that I cut out on the Cricut, which I'm actually going to have to do some more of because I'm running out of red ones. These are craft foam, which I believe is just thin EVA foam. I suspect. I may be wrong about that. JR24, also 1984 was a big year for pop culture. So a lot of franchises turned 40 this year. It's true. A lot of things happened in 1984, including Kevin discovering punk music. the young Kevin blossoming, as it were. Oh, I'm having some coffee before I get the mask on because I'm smart. Okay, so before the mask goes on, the fan gets turned on. More noise. Excellent. Just what I wanted. Get the Danger Honey out here. This tin is almost done. Thankfully, the Danger Honey fairy showed up the other day and delivered me a new tin. Get some gloves, get the mask. Joe, a big thing for me in 1984 was learning to walk. You know, I still haven't quite perfected that. Andy's Keep Ghostbusters was 40 this year in June. Oh, also it was last month. Yeah. This is the fun thing I've been watching lately. For those of you who are into tech, you probably already know a Cathode Ray dude, a vintage computing YouTuber. Extremely entertaining fellow, and his videos are fantastic. The interesting thing for me, particularly for a lot of what he does, is he does a lot of like 90s and early 2000s PC, like retro stuff. And I remember all of the things. So he's basically doing archaeology on a period that I lived through. And if you ever want to feel old, that's one way to do it. Muppets Take Manhattan and Muppet Babies turned 4 this year. I never got into Muppet Babies in any iteration at all. There was just something about it that I didn't quite sit with me very well. I don't know. It felt odd and like they were throwing stuff at the wall to see what might work, and that never quite gelled for me. It was also probably just a timing thing because, as I have already alluded to, at the time it came out, I was kind of, I was in mid-adolescence and I was kind of drifting away from the puppetry thing and dyeing my hair funny colors and listening to angry music, so, There are 2 existing photos, surviving photos of me from the 80s. If I ever start a Patreon, that'll be one of the Patreon tier rewards. You'll get to see them because it is me with hair and makeup and little goth boy Kevin. It's a thing. Still kind of is. Oh, my curtains have moved in front of the fan. We need the airflow. Thank you. There we go. I think I just let more sun in. We're all right. Yeah, so I gotta put the mask on now. I'm gonna turn the mic on the mask, so things are gonna get weird and probably loud. And there we go. Masking up. Oh, yes. Let me know. Looks like you should be able to hear me. Boy, putting the glasses on and using the straps on the mask to hold my glasses on, not easy, it turns out. All right, let's get to gluing. Danger Honey waits for no one. JR24, well, the actors doing the voices of the Muppet Babies are different from the traditional puppeteers of the Muppets at the time. I don't think that was it, because I'm okay with other people doing voices. And there was a whole contingent that gets really weird at Matt Vogel's Kermit voice. I think it's fine. I think there's very few, like, it's an actor playing a role. It isn't somebody doing an impression. You don't expect
Roger Moore to do an impression of Sean Connery. They're still both playing James Bond, you know. Just my opinion that nobody asked for. I think it's the concept of the Muppet Babies. This intentionally trying to be hyper cute. That's the thing I don't think. I don't really respond to like babies. I'm not a, I don't have children. I'm a little, I don't quite know what to say to children, which is odd because look at the business I'm in, right? You know. Yeah, I think it's just the hyper cutesiness of it I bounced off of. Yeah, you got to remember, when that came out, I was listening to like Dead Kennedys and the Sex Pistols, right? Like, that was never going to gel with me very well. Nice to see you, JRR. Thank you for dropping by. If we do or do not see you. Just because you make and like puppets doesn't mean you have to like people's children. I think children are fine. I'm just a little bit tongue-tied when I encounter a really young kid. Like when a human can carry on a conversation, then we're good. But up until that point, I'm not quite sure what to do. I need somebody else to do some work too, you know what I mean? I got lots of schmutz in this glue. There's so much lint. Little bits of fur and whatnot. Now, this tin is almost done. All right, there's the head. Let's go ahead and get the body started. We'll let this dry. Oh. So the goal is to finish the basic puppet today. To get the body all put together, and then tomorrow do like the features, like eyes and ears and nose, whatever I'm gonna do. I don't even know what it's gonna look like yet. I generally decide that in the moment. And then I'll put it up on the shop on Friday. And so next week will definitely be a eyebrow McFurry live hands monster. Got a commission. I've already got the bits that I need 3D printed for it, so that's good. Nice to get a little jump on things. Just trying to be organized as much as possible. And yes, we will be putting boning in this body, so stay tuned for that excitement. There's a joke in there somewhere, but I'm not going to tell it. Joe, I did enjoy Muppet Babies, but its success inadvertently caused the whole spin-off babies trope that plagued cartoons for a while. Yeah, you're right. Like I said, I think it was just a timing. It was the wrong time, and I was at the wrong age. I think the thing was, the original was the cartoon. I know they did a puppet version later, but the original was the cartoon, and I think that was the thing. I find that the Muppets just don't work unless they're puppets. It's kind of, it seems like you're missing the point. Half of the magic of the Muppets is the fact that they're puppet characters. When you translate that into something else, it kind of loses something. Okay, so we're gonna put this together as it is, and then we'll do the mouth plate. Let me just dry it off here. Watchmen babies, yeah. That was the Simpsons joke, right? What's his name on The Simpsons? Alright, darts are closed. Now we merge the two halves. I'm sorry this is off camera a lot. I'm just kind of going. Thankfully, no fire alarm yet. Possibly spoke too soon. The whole trick here is to try and make sure you're not squishing the two halves. You're not compacting them. You're making sure that as much surface area as possible kind of meets. Okay, your basic skull. A basic skull. The basic skull. So now we're going to put the glue for the mouth plate. Making sure we get the right one. The big one is on the bottom this time because it's the ogre, so it's got a big old underbite. Oh, I was going to hinge these, wasn't I? Yeah, I think I will. Actually, give me a sec. I'm finding I prefer doing a tape hinge lately just as a bit of insurance. So I'm actually going to take the mask off. This is closed up and we've got the ventilation going. Just because I got to do stuff with tape. This will just take a minute, but as long as I can not have to wear the mask, I won't. Because much like COVID, no, I don't want to wear a mask. It's just sensible. I'm also going to take gloves off because it's tape and tape gets stuck to those gloves really easily. So we get the gaff tape here. This is something I'm not sure I've actually demonstrated on stream before, so this will be newish. Also taking some coffee while I can. And just keep believing. Then they did a whole storyline in Muppet movies and show about how the characters met and throw it out the window for Muppet Babies. Yes. Yes, there was a canon inconsistency there, which he should have known would rub nerds the wrong way. All right, so if you're going to do a hinge with tape on your puppet, there's a kind of a specific order that you should do it in. So first of all, you should use gaff tape and only gaff tape. So I've got 2 strips here. So what we want to do, since it's going to, actually that's the wrong way around, there we go. We're gonna go like this. I know it's hard to see because of the color. I should have got a green cutting mat. I wonder, hang on, maybe we can actually use this. Not really. There's so much stuff in the way. Okay, hang on. You'll be able to do something with this. That's not too bad, actually. Okay, so what you want to do, since you want to make sure that it's going to close and the hinge is going to work like this, is you want to make sure that when you tape it, that you want to tape the flat side on the outside of the mouth. And I got a delivery my wife just texted me. I got a delivery to take care of. So give me one moment, actually. Let me just go take care of that. I will be right back and we will continue with the tape hinge demonstration. Hi. Delivery is taken care of.
That was kind of important. That was cat food. We would have a revolution on our hands if they didn't get their cat food. Oh yeah, no, I absolutely. There's no canon continuity in the Muppets. No, I'm not even. I was joking. I'm not even worried with that. You know what? I'm not worried about canon continuity in anything, and that includes Star Wars. So, canon is nonsense. Tell a good story. I don't care what you do. People who worry about canon are just religious zealots, if you ask me. Anyway, on that note, back to, oh wait, we're doing it this way. Back to the tape hinge. Welcome to the rule of the tape hinge. Hello, Ozone on Owncast. Nice to see you. I'm glad to see that the Owncast server seems to be holding up okay. All right, so what you want to do, since you want to make sure that this will close and open easily, is you want to make sure you lay it flat and you tape the outside, and then I'll show you how to do the inside. So we're going to tape the outside. And the way it's quite simple. I just lay the tape down. You want to make sure you get this flat with no wrinkles. And basically I just kind of lay it. Can you see that? Yeah, okay. Lay it down, and then like so. And there we go. I'm going to trim off the excess on the edge here. Now, so we've got that on the outside. So we've got a hinge made. We also want to tape it on the inside. But if we were to do this, if we were to just tape it across here, then of course when you go to close it, it's gonna rip that tape. It's gonna hyperextend the tape. You don't want that. So you want to put the tape on the inside when it's closed. You do it like this. Put the strip on the top. All right, just like that. This close-up cam is actually kind of working out. That's good. And then we fold it over. And we press it while it's closed on the actual hinge part. Then we fold it over again. So it's nice and tidy like that, right? And so now you've got a fully functional tape hinge that will allow the mouth to open and close. There you go. I also joking, continuity only matters in Star Wars and Star Trek, which can't make up their minds anyway. Well, that's the thing, right? As far as I'm concerned, continuity is only there to help make a cohesive story. But if the story is interesting, violate canon all you want. I don't care about that. Make it good. Okay. Kevin, do you think Gorilla Tape would work? It seems to have held the mirror on my van for 7 years now. So is Gorilla Tape Nano Tape? Because I'm not sure. I've never used Gorilla Tape. I have used Alien Tape, which is Nano Tape, and I don't think that would work because it's quite thick and spongy. So it would probably hold, but you're going to actually add thickness. Like it's a big wad of tape. And I don't think that would work very well. The nice thing about gaff tape is, since it's fabric-based, it kind of gets into all the little crevices and whatnot, and it lays nice and flat. So when we glue the mouth lining over top of this, you're not going to see the lines. So, but I don't know. I've never seen Gorilla Tape. So if it is Nano Tape, if it has thickness, then I would not advise it. But you know. Might as well try it. What do you got to lose? A mouth plate. Okay, so there we go. The other thing you can do with the tape hinge, FYI, is to actually make a little bit of space in between here and make this jaw a little bit loose so it's not just a one-way hinge. I know one of the things that BJ Geyer does is actually makes a triple hinged or a double hinge. It makes a third piece in here, so there's actually like a little pivot point. That's very nice to do as well. I keep it simple. I just do a up and down, open and close hinge. All right, back with the mask, back with the gloves. Let me, while I'm thinking of it, first of all, we'll go back to top cam and just, yep, stream playback 100%. Nice to see. 0 errors the entire time we've been streaming. Awesome. That was not the case for the previous server. I think we're good. Owncast. Nice. Okay. Gorilla tape is a little too close to duct tape. Okay. Yeah, don't use duct tape. Duct tape bad. Duct tape actually, over time it dries out and gets brittle. The big difference between duct tape and gas tape is fabric based, whereas duct tape does have fiber in it, but it is plastic. So it dries out. So duct tape is super strong for specific applications in the moment, but it's not a long lasting thing. Okay. Is this mic still on? It is not. Probably don't need this one, but what the heck? We got it. Might as well use it. Ozone on Owncast. If you're looking at the stream health dashboard, yeah, no, I know about the, it might be on the user's end as well. It's just a general overview. Yeah, I know about that. It's still cool to see 0 though. Oh, you know what we should do first? I've been talking long enough. I really got to get these darts closed up. Let's do that. Well, this blue is still viable. This just goes to show how long contact cement remains viable. This is quite dry, and yet, well, okay, maybe I do have to get a little more glue on there. Oh, that's fine. May have to put another coat. We'll see. That seems all right. But yeah, generally speaking, contact cement should remain viable for quite a while. You've got working time. That's one of the nice things about it. Okay, so since we did this first, I'm gonna get the sides of these painted up. Then we'll paint the mouth plate. Then we'll glue this together. Then we'll glue the mouth plate together. I'm just trying to space out. I want to give it some air drying time, so. Yes, thank you, Ozone. I appreciate it. Yeah, I know the error message is like, oh, there's an error here that could be, it just means that a packet didn't go from A to B, which could be my fault. It could be just an internet blip. It could be anything.
Now, the Owncast server used to actually be hosted on my NAS. And I want to do some work on my NAS, which meant that I would have to take the Owncast server offline. Or, since I already had a machine that was a viable replacement, I just moved it, and that seems to have worked out perfectly. It's not a 100% dedicated Owncast machine, but it's pretty close. Owncast is definitely the most robust thing on it. I'm also hosting my RSS feed, and what else am I hosting on there? I think possibly Invidious. Self-hosting, it's the way. And networking is black magic. Well, Jen, hello on Owncast. Nice to see you. See you again, folks, on Owncast. Owncast is on the rise. Love to see it. I mean, really, after I got the URL, operationpuppet.live, what else was I going to do with it? It makes so much sense. And just keep, I do notice a slight delay in the stream. That could be what you use to, yeah. So, in theory, it should be that Owncast has less of a delay than Twitch and YouTube, because I'm streaming to Owncast directly, and Twitch and YouTube are going through Restream, which adds another level of delay. However, it's also about the encoding. It's also, there's a whole lot of parameters. It is black magic. It's dark wizardry. Jojo Puppet Studio on YouTube. Hello, nice to see you again. How much larger is the bottom plate? That much larger. I don't know. It's about an inch or so. As with a lot of this stuff, I don't really measure. I just kind of eyeball it. So yeah, it's about. So you'll notice it's the same width. I've just made it. It's about an inch. If you are going to do an overbite or an underbite, what you want to do is, when you're designing your pattern, you want to make it more than you think you're going to need. Because once the fabric gets on there, once the foam kind of compresses, you're going to end up with less than you think you have. So that's why when you do the design for the foam and the mouth plates, do it a bit more than you think you need. That would be my advice there. Yeah, I've been thinking about the S3 thing. Sorry, I'm talking. We had Owncast. Ozone and Owncast. We're talking about the S3 buckets. I've been thinking about that. I'm trying to not actually spend money. That's the whole deal. And I've got all this hardware sitting around. Yeah, I think they're pretty good. I could configure more quality levels. Like I could actually probably make the delay on Owncast a bit better, but I'm at a nice sweet spot right now, I think. Everything's working. I'm afraid to touch it if it's all working. Yeah, Owncast is about a 5 to 10 second delay for my viewers, which is insanely good. Yeah, I don't remember. I did test once, and it wasn't too bad. Certainly no worse than going through Restream. I mean, until we get the really low latency protocols, which aren't likely to happen, at least not in open source, then this is it. As good as it gets. All right, so we got the glue on there. Now put the glue on here. And make sure to put it on the inside. Just along the edges. Yeah, one thing I haven't investigated, and I really should, particularly on the new server that it's on, is hardware decoding. I'm actually still using software decoding on Owncast. That might mix things up a little bit. It gets a little complicated when you start to get into that stuff, though. All right. We got the glue on the mouth plate. We're going to let that dry. Hopefully didn't get a lot of glue on the work surface. And we're going to put the body together now. This should be dry enough. I guess we'll find out. I need more space. Oh, to have the giant swazzle style tables. Oh, to have half of what Swazzle has. i.e. a laser cutter. I'm not jealous. All right, there we go. Body is in one piece. One big old lumpy piece. So we are going to put some boning in there, but I'm going to have to take the gloves off and get the tape and do all that stuff. So now we got the mouth plate. I am going to hit this with a hairdryer for a second because it's still probably a little damp. The camera's a little dark. It was much brighter in here when I set everything up, of course. Is that a little bit better? All right, now this is where it gets tricky. It's easier to do if you don't tape the hinge together. But this is the choice we've made, so. Here we go. One thing I like about the 3D printed mouth plates is since they're a bit thick, you can fold the edge over and get a nice kind of soft edge on it. And it's very clean and very pleasing. All right. One Ogar. Hello, my Ogar. There we go. So next is the boning. Insert joke here. Look, it's called what it's called. It's not my fault. We are going to have to put the mask back on. Put the boning in because that will need glue. But for the moment, okay. Boning, yes. The first thing I do when I'm going to put some plastic boning in is I get a couple of pieces of gaff tape ready to go. 4 specifically. And just like a little chunk of tape. Well, actually, we're only going to need 2. I'm usually doing 4 because I usually do puppets in batches of 2. We will only need 2. I'll make more just in case one gets messed up. Always have extras. I have no idea what our time is. 11:06. Oh, good. We still good. The cafe. Indies keep on Oncast. I like both places I use in my Goblin's Dollar Store table mats. Oh yeah, absolutely. But I feel 3D printed ones you do will not hold up much longer. Yeah, well that was the thing. I think you, Indies Keep, were the reason that I kind of went, I need something that's going to be much more robust than what I've been doing. So yeah, there's no way that these finger loops are going to come off of here. You would have to get in there with something sharp and pull it apart in order to make that happen. So don't do that. Boning, yes. Let's do that. Some boning here. So to measure it, that's always the kind of tricky part. Is you don't want to get it too big or too small because too big is going to warp it and too small is going to also warp it. Jojo, do I use Ultra Suede for the mouth plates or just the red mouse? I haven't used Ultra Suede for a while, actually. I ended up preferring felt, which I know seems weird. I used to sing the praises of Ultra Suede. Ultra Suede looks great, but because I do the Krutinger method of sewing in the mouth plate and then gluing it to the skull, it was really hard to keep it wrinkle free. To the point that sometimes it got so gummed up that I had to just do it over again. So I have ended up going with preferring felt because felt has a bit of stiffness to it, and that lets it lay flat and wrinkle free. So I have actually transitioned to completely using felt for my mouth linings now. Although Ultra Suede does look great, even the black stuff, like the black stuff and the red stuff and whatever color you get, there's a really nice texture to Ultra Suede that is really nice. Hello, Demon Dreamer, nice to see you. You guys see? Oh, good. The way Kermit does it, yeah. Oh, good. All right, so first thing I do is I make a loop that I kind of
eyeball to be around the right size, and then I add a little bit of extra. And just cut that off. And then I'm gonna have to stand up for this, which is, you can see now why I realized that I like, you know, me and my skulls. I love skulls, but I realized this kind of looks like a Punisher shirt. No. I'm not one of those Punisher shirt guys. Just FYI. So I only wear this on stream, but you can only see me from the torso up. So I put it in here, and then I kind of measure and try and get it as close as I can. Not too big, not too small. So it's interesting. I typically use black fleece and red suede. Yeah, no, absolutely. You use fleece for your mouth linings. That's interesting because that's stretchy. I would think that would be a bit of a pain, but hey, you do you. Now, Joe, I don't know. Josiah might forgive me. Because we got Joe and Josiah in the chat. I don't recall if you do the Krutinger style like I do, or if you actually do the proper fold the edges over. So do you glue in the mouth lining first and then you fold the fleece over, or do you actually sew in the mouth lining like this? Because that would determine, you know. Okay, so there's the top. And the bottom is noticeably bigger, so. They just keep still haven't fixed that mouth plate. Yeah, well, thankfully because of the way the Greelys are, it'll behave without needing that. It's just nice to have. I thought it was an alien skull. I know, all right? It's like an alien skull. I got this going on like this. That was one of the Nosferatu prototypes. Yes, I will do something with that one day. Okay. Speaking of Nosferatu, speaking of pieces of media I will probably actually watch, that trailer for the new Nosferatu looks real freaking good. I'm genuinely a bit excited about that. Being a long-time Nosferatu fan. Ever used floral spray paint on the fur? I have not, and that is an interesting question because somebody asked me, who will remain nameless for now, and they may or may not be in the chat, so you can pipe up if you wish to be identified, about making a more realistic style of puppet, like an animal. And it's not something I've done. I've always stuck with the Muppety stuff, but I would absolutely be willing to try. But that would be a case of where doing like kind of highlighted or mixed color fur would come in real handy. So that's an interesting thought. I have not, but something worth looking into. Jojo, I typically glue the fabric of choice to the mouth plate and then install that in the foam head and then glue the lip line from there. Right. So yeah, you don't really have to worry about the wrinkly. I mean, you do a little bit, but not nearly as much as this. This is a nightmare. Let me tell you, if I was any good at doing the fold and glue method like you do, that's what I would do. That is the preferred way to do it. Thank you, Ozone. Yes. Nice to see you. Thank you for the support, the continued support. Okay, we are ready to go here. We are ready to glue these in. So these have been, it's pretty clear which is which. The small one is the top, the large one is the bottom. Doesn't really matter what side we start from. Now the gloves and the mask go back on. JR24, nice to see you. Yeah, I don't have any knowledge of floral spray paint. I kind of assumed what that is. If you have any links or anything, Anne, I don't know, actually, let me reject your link on the chat, but or possibly we could just Google it. I'm assuming it's something that florists use for flower arranging and stuff like that. I do know that one of the things the BJ Geyer talks about is actually just using straight up spray paints. There are fur, like a fabric friendly spray paints. Right, there we go. There we go. Okay, so that's what that is then. Thank you. It is floral spray paint. Yeah. Honestly, it's been so long since I watched BJ's videos that I just forgot. I don't really have the room and facilities to dye and color my own fabrics, so I kind of glossed over that section, just because it wasn't really applicable to what I do. But yeah, so BJ Geyer does demonstrate using a fabric-friendly spray paint on fur. So it can be done. Okay, here we go again.
And so the tricky part here is to get your gloves really gummed up. So what I generally try and do is I'll put the glue on the body part first, and then, because this is where it gets mucky because you're painting with the glue. Trying to hold this and paint with glue at the same time is a challenge. So let's get this on first. What size do I order for boning? I don't know. I'm not sure. I don't ever recall seeing it come in a size. This looks to be about 1/2 inch in width. I think that's pretty standard. I know this is kind of hard to see. It's just I got so much stuff on the table here that. I wonder how. Can I get this on the close-up cam? Let's see. This is hard because I have to kind of reach around, and I can kind of show what I'm doing. Doesn't have to be super tidy. So all I'm doing is I'm just painting along the edge here. All right. What are my thoughts on the monster efforts made by people like Stanley Winston and Rick Baker back in the day compared to the Jim Henson Creature Shop? I don't know that I've ever thought about a comparison. It's all awesome. And I mean, the disciplines are so shared, right? Like, it's really just an aesthetic choice. Was it Rick Baker who did the Gremlins? I can't remember who did Gremlins. I'm gonna have to switch cameras back. This is too hard. There we go. I know Rick Baker did Gremlins 2. I can't remember who did the original Gremlins. That was one thing as a kid, boy, let me tell you. I desperately, desperately wanted a gremlin. The Boglins were the closest thing I ever got. All right. So now we get the mucky part. Now I gotta clean up. I'll do the bottom one first. So that's the one that's been drying the longest, so we'll do that. Do the second maybe someone else did the first one. Yeah, I thought so. Because I remember when they had that auction a couple of years ago, before the pandemic, in the before times, he was auctioning off some stuff, and some of it was some of the surviving and not very well preserved, unfortunately, Gremlins and Gremlins 2. And these people like Chris Wales built them for Gremlins 1, but Baker assisted, with Baker assisting them, and then Baker did Gremlins 2. Gotcha, that's right. I knew that name was real familiar. I knew. Because when I was a kid, I looked into everything. I was like, how do I get one of these? They made hundreds of them. They gotta be able to spare one. Come on. And now, if you're lucky, you'll get one that the latex is degraded for hundreds of thousands of dollars. A kid in the 80s could not afford that. At least this kid couldn't. All right. Is it Tom Spina? I think that does a lot of the prop refurbs. I think they did some Gremlin stuff at some point. It's been so long since I looked into prop stuff, I've forgotten a whole lot. Okay, there we go. Now we gotta make sure this is nice and dry. Seeing the turtles today is unsettling as well. Yeah, I remember when that picture went viral of one of them with the teeth showing and everything. It was pretty scary. ET is mostly a skeleton, yeah. Well, the latex degrades, right? All right, we're almost there, and then we got to do the the skull. That's where things get a bit nerve-wracking. All right, I'm going to stand up for this too. Forgive my skull. So it's a little tricky. You want to kind of tack it in there at first. You don't want to really pinch it down because you're going to want to adjust it. So just kind of touch the sides together. Try and work your way around and get it seated. Because obviously this is a little bit tricky because the glue wants to grab. There we go. That's not bad. And now, once it's in place, pinch it all together, and there we go. And same thing. So usually what I do is I kind of fold out one edge, try and get the beginning part seated, and then go around on the opposite sides so it's laying relatively even. There we go. Boning is in. We are boned right there. So, how's the boning? I know NECA has done full-size puppets and Trick or Treat Studios because they're just replicas. Yeah, but you know what? Even a replica would be cool. I would absolutely own a replica Gremlin. 100%. Okay. Now the fun part. Now we got to do the bit that Jojo and I were just discussing. Gluing the mouth in. So, gonna cover this all with glue, cover this all with glue, and marry the two. I now pronounce you skin and skull. Indies Keep, I have a Gizmo replica from '92. It's kind of degraded and falling apart. Still a great shelf piece, yeah. Before I started puppet building, what this room was kind of our spare room that just stuff went in. And this is where I was starting to build up a collectibles, few shelves. That all went. I got a box full of Futurama action figures. But now I need the shelf for puppets. The shelves. And it's not even a collection. They're just here temporarily. So when I do this, for the fabric part, take the glove off because I need to be able to really feel and smooth out the wrinkles on the inside and everything. So I just be careful not to get glue. And I'm going to have to hold this close to me here. I'll keep the camera where it is, but just so I can carefully paint this. One of the challenges with a big mouth plate like this is just keeping it wrinkle free. You know, the creature effects in Return of the Living Dead was made by a Muppeteer. I did not. Was that Dave Goelz? I know Dave Goelz used to be into like industrial engineering and that kind of stuff. challenge here is to not get too much on because you don't want it to soak through. Oh, this is being a bit annoying. It's important to get all the edges too. I'll often miss that. It's kind of more important to do the edges than the middle. It was Bill Munns. Bill Munns. I don't think I'm familiar with that name. All right, let's just go for it. Hit this one. These keep on Owncast. I want to eventually do an Alf replica, but I know it'll take some work because he was foam and flock for his face. That's true. Yeah, Alf would be an interesting challenge. Okay, so the challenge here is to glue this to this without this getting wrinkled. And unfortunately, that's really hard to show on camera because I got to do it really close up. Maybe if I go to this camera, would actually be better. All right, so I'll line up the center lines. And then try to gradually work it down. Right, that's really off center. No. This is why we don't press it down too soon. Not cooperating. May have to redo this. Well, okay, well, hold on. That'll be okay. All right, I don't feel any wrinkles. That's good. I forgot that I usually leave a little space between the mouth plates, so this mouth is going to line up kind of odd, and I'm not sure I'm going to like it, but let's find out. Only one way to be sure. Now we got to turn it, which is always a struggle, especially because it's got to go through the neck hole. Ah, yes, the birthing of a puppet is a beautiful thing. I think we're okay. I think we're all right. Might need some finessing and a little bit of massaging, but you know, what doesn't? You're a bit wrinkly there, Ogre. Here, let me sort this out here. Without being encumbered. Ooh. Okay. This is where it gets fiddly and you gotta really work with it. It's a little misaligned. I don't know if I like this. I think I may want to try and fix this. There's no wrinkles, thankfully, but it's not quite lined up. Yeah, the lip line is off. I don't like it. When I make eye bags, do I use half-inch foam? No, I generally just make them out of fleece. Just rip fleece. Omcast did not like that camera switch, seems to have fixed now. Oh, okay. Interesting. Check the logs. Let's look at the log. I know this is a bit of a... I'm not seeing any errors, so possibly that was just an internet hiccup or something, possibly. I'm not seeing any errors in the stream health, so... All right, so yeah, no, I'm not happy with how that turned out. So we pull it back right side out. Now, this glue has started to set. So what you got to do to reactivate it is heat it up. So what we do is we get, you don't want to pull too hard because then you're going to tear the fabric. So we need to get the hair dryer in there. And then we start heating it up and tearing the foam. Hey, that's okay. We can fix that. Yeah, this glue is real set in there right now. Here we go. We got it. We got it. So we got two things to do. We got to fix that tear I just made. Hey, it's like I said before, half of the educational part of the stream is seeing me mess up and then fixing it, right? Here we go. But yeah, you know, stuff happens. Things don't always go to plan, and you gotta learn to cope with it. This being a good example of that. I may actually redo this head skin. I'm not sure this is going to work out. Come on. Yeah, let me see what shape this is in. Okay, that actually doesn't look too bad. I will give it another shot. But, as you can see, I just tore that. But thankfully, since it's just a tear, that's easy to fix. It's the life of being a creator, it's true. So, let's fix that. I will try the mouth one more time. If that doesn't work, I'll just have to remake skin for the head. Which is a pain in the butt, because then I have to resew all the stuff. But, you know, that's what happens sometimes. This is why I leave enough time for oopses. I'm gonna get the gloves back on. Yes, kids, even somebody who's been doing it for 5 years.
Yeah, it's all fixable. There's nothing that isn't fixable. It's just how long do you want to spend fixing it? The easy solution for this is to just cut the tape and make a gap, and so I can get the mouth lined up a bit better. But I think I could probably get it. I'm pretty sure we can do this.
Even if I line it up right on the edge, it'd still be fine. Okay. So we'll fix this. This foam from the outdoor fabric supply place is like this. It's soft. It's a bit less durable than the other stuff that I usually get. So the other stuff that I'm used to working with could have taken what I just did. This stuff, not so much. You got to be a little more gentle with it. Today I learned. All right. There we go. Dry that off. Oh yeah, listen. On set, on professional sets where they're working with puppets, there's a couple of people usually standing around. They're called puppet wranglers, and their job is to fix the puppets when they break. Because it always happens, always. Because they're puppets. Puppets break. They're physical objects that are being used. Made of soft things. You're right? Like, it's just a fact. They're going to break. All right, let me reassess this. Well, I think I can give it one more shot. They were there to keep the puppets from burning the set down or otherwise running amok. Yeah, no, puppets are fragile. That's the thing. This is what people don't kind of understand about professional puppets. I've talked about this before, but it's like they're supposed to look good. But in order to look good, sometimes you have to build them in ways that they aren't terribly durable. So it's understood that they are going to need fixing. That's the challenge that I face when I'm selling to the general public is, I need to make them more durable than I would if I was selling to professional production. Because people who may not know are still buying these and going, hey, I gave this to my kid. He smashed it against the wall and the eye fell off. Well, it's like, yes, of course it did. That's never happened, by the way. I just want to make that clear. I'm just using that as a kind of example that might happen. All right, yes, I'm not wearing a glove on that hand. I'm being very careful. I'm also not putting as much glue on this time. Hopefully this will work out, but it may not, and if it doesn't, I don't want another struggle trying to get this off. I know it looks like a real mess right now. Don't worry, it'll be fine. I'm saying that to myself as much as you. Okay. There's that. Would you say that most, if not all, robots are technically puppets? I guess you could make a case for that. All right, so it looked like the alignment issue last time was really on the bottom jaw. So I'm going to line that up first this time, and then we'll just see how it all falls into place. Okay, switch to that cam. All right, here we go. Cross your fingers. No, it's just too wide on the edges. I've measured something wrong. Maybe that'll be okay. I feel a bit of a wrinkle in the bottom there. Let me see if I can sort that out. Okay. All right, well, let's have a look. This may be a case where design changes can help. Actually, before I turn this, let me unburden myself. The barge is closed up here. Come on, I need a win. We're gonna end the stream soon. I need to not look like I'm a failure. Kid. I'm partly kidding. Okay, let's have a look. What do we got going on? How you doing, Ogre? You good? You good, Ogre? Ooh, I think Ogre good. I think Ogre good. There's lots of furry stuff, but I think our alignment is good. Chaotic neutral. EED joke. Yeah, yep. You know what? I'm gonna say yeah. I'm gonna say it's okay. It's okay.
a little bit wonky, but that, I mean, I can massage that out. That's easy. It's still a nice clean. We're gonna put a tooth in there anyway. So, okay, I think we pulled it out of the fire. Thank goodness. It's gonna clean it up a little bit, but other than that, I think we're okay. Y'all, it's gonna be fine. Don't worry. It's a little rough looking right now, but that'll in time that'll work itself out. Okay, nobody looks good when they're freshly born, right? Yeah, now we're okay. I think I'm gonna put a little stuffing in the cheeks here to puff these a little bit more. Now it's gonna have eyes, it's gonna have nose, it's gonna have hair, it's gonna have a whole lot of stuff. This is just the basic shape. So we all good. Yeah, it's improving already. See. Oh, the eyes I have planned. Are they here? Where did I put the eyes? I don't know. I've lost the eyes. They're neat. Oh, here they are. I've used these one time before, and I like them a whole lot, so I got some more. These are going to be the eyes. Like that. Big old nose, some hair. See, we're going places. We got it. It's fine. It'll be fine. Everything is fine. Okay. You know what? We're almost at time here, and I really need a break after that. That was almost a disaster, but saved it. Everything is good. Felt is fraying a little bit, which I'm not crazy about, but oh well. It'll be fine. I'll just hit it with some Scotch Guard or something. All right. You know what, kids? I need lunch after that ordeal. So, there we go. We got another stream in, as it were, the can, as they say. The new episode of the podcast, Pixels and Puppets, is out. Came out last Saturday. This weekend, I will probably be streaming on the Fediverse, so on the PeerTube and Owncast servers. I know that one's hard to. This one's hard to see. There we go. OperationPuppet.live. That's the Owncast server. And I'll be playing some video games. It has nothing to do with puppets, so most of you probably don't care. But that's going to be happening. Thank you, Zep. Probably Sunday. I usually stream video games on Sundays, so there is that. As always, build streams. There'll be another build stream next week. We will be building a live hands furry blink mech monster. And yeah, that's pretty much it. All of the things as usual. Kevin needs a break. Kevin's going to go take a break and have some more coffee. Thank you, everybody, as always, for joining me. OperationPuppet.com for all of the links, etc. Have yourself a good week if I don't see you, and hopefully we'll see you again next week. Hitting the right button. Here we go. Adios.